Welcome back to Fantasy Baseball 360 alongside Nando DeFino and Scott White. I'm George Sedano. Thursday look ahead, boys. We start off only 5 games in the American League, one lonely little game in the National League. But in the American League, we begin with Tampa and the Yankees. Scott, Sean Rodriguez.
Struggling over his last 9 games, hitting only .200, and really his season stats aren't much better. Hasn't been much better in his time with the Rays, .221 over the last 2 seasons, but I'm surprised he's still owned in 19% of leagues. I understand why. He had the power in the minors, people thinking maybe he'll come through eventually, but 5 years, a bunch of nothing. He is going to at least stay in the lineup because Jeff Keppinger had to go on the restricted list for personal reasons, but other than that, I don't think Rodriguez is going to offer enough, even in deeper leagues.
Toss-up, Rodriguez, Pasternicki.
I'd go Pasternicki. He's hitting better right now.
Sean Rodriguez gets my vote for all the reasons that Scott just explained.
All right.
I'm one of those idiots.
You love the power. You
I do.
love the potential power.
He's got a little speed.
Yeah. Texas and Baltimore, Nando. Derek Holland.
Derek Holland, man, he's Rodriguez essentially, but a pitcher. He had these great minor league numbers, strikeouts as opposed to the power bat, but whip and ERA, things have not translated over. He's had chances. He had 2009, he had 21 decisions with a 6.12 ERA and a 1.50 whip.
He struggled his last couple starts, though.
He struggled the last couple starts, too. I don't know why people are still waiting for Holland to develop at this point. I mean, at this point, you might rather have Greg Holland than Derek Holland on your roster.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
He does win a lot of games. He had,
Because he's on
16?
Texas.
Well, he's still on Texas.
Tommy Hunter used to win a lot of games. No one fawned over him like they fawned over this guy.
You love Tommy Hunter.
Dude, I miss
All
him.
right,
I miss him.
Rank these 3, okay? Heron, Holland, or Romero?
Romero, Heron, then Holland.
I go Heron, Romero, Holland.
Next game, Cleveland and Boston. Travis Hafner, a former guest on the show.
Yeah, and he has struggled over his last 10 games, batting .171, but I'm actually more encouraged than discouraged by what I've seen so far. Started 24 of the team's 29 games this season. He's been playing against lefties. That's something he never did, really, since he had all the shoulder issues. And that is going to make a big difference because when you're getting 380 at-bats, you can't really do much with it. I understand that playing against lefties might be bringing down his batting average now, but I'll still take the opportunity for production over just no opportunity at all. I like him playing, and because he's still playing regularly, I think he deserves to be owned in more than 32% of leagues. I don't know that I'd start him against Peavy on Thursday, but I'd want to own Hafner.
Next game, Toronto and Minnesota, Nando.
Jason Marquis, I think, is an interesting guy. Like Danny Noble was saying before about Andy Pettitte, he's been around, he knows how to pitch. It's not going to change much, really, from that perspective of Marquis not all of a sudden going to become a strikeout pitcher with a very low whip and a very low ERA. But last year with Washington, he was very serviceable, 3.95 ERA. That was his best since 2004 with Atlanta. He puts a lot of teams in position to win. And the problem is on Minnesota, that team doesn't score a lot of runs, so he's not exactly. I mean, he's doing the best that he can.
Right.
He could put any other team in the position.
They're getting no hit by everybody.
It's sad, but then they explode for these games, 8 or 9 runs.
Right.
So there's always that. But it's Marquis not the worst of your fantasy options. He's just not overpowering. I don't think he's a 12-teamer kind of guy, but in those deeper leagues, AL only league, obviously you might want to take a look. He's been okay so far.
Next game in the American League, Detroit and Oakland. Max Scherzer.
Good his last time out. 1 earned run, 9 Ks in 7 innings, and that's the frustrating part for Scherzer is that he looks great one game and terrible the next. I feel like this last start, though, was closer to what we can expect from Scherzer most of the time he's out there. The stuff, I mean, it still speaks for itself. It's strikeout rate leads the majors. It's good stuff. And really, he doesn't have control issues either, apart from the 7-walk game a couple starts ago. Hasn't given up more than 2 walks in any of his starts this season. So that strikeout-to-walk ratio, I mean, that's the main thing I look at when assessing these guys. And Scherzer, he's still great. So, yeah, there's some inconsistency, but against a weak-hitting team like the Athletics, I think I'd roll the dice on Scherzer.
Electric stuff, inconsistency, reminds me of A.J. Burnett. All the baseball guys used to say that about A.J. all the time.
Yeah.
And that's not the guy you want to be compared to if you're Max Scherzer.
That's a good point, but I don't know. I'm still trusting
You're
Scherzer.
hopeful on Scherzer.
I'm hopeful, yeah.
All right, Scherzer or Matt Moore?
I'll go with the upside of Moore there.
I'm with Scott, Matt Moore.
All right, next game is the lone National League game, Washington and Pittsburgh. Adam LaRoche back in a big way.
I will give you this stat. We can wrap it up with this awesome little stat.
Okay.
Adam LaRoche, 1.024 OPS in his career against Pittsburgh, 5 homers and 80 at-bats. His 338 average is the best average versus any team in the National League.
Wants to get back at those guys.
Back at the Pirates, man. That's his former team. Maybe there's some anger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pent-up frustration takes it out on them.
Yes.
So there you have it. Those are our games. That's our Thursday look ahead. If you want to reach out to us, you can always do so via Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/CBS Sports Fantasy Baseball. That's on Facebook. You can like us there. On Twitter @CBS Fantasy BB. And for all the latest news, analysis, headlines, and insight, go to fantasynews.cbssports.com. Great job, boys. Excellent work out of you guys
George,
today.
good times, man.
Thank you to Danny Nobler for joining us. You can join us weekdays live at 5 o'clock right here on CBSSports.com. You've been watching Fantasy Baseball 360. You have a good evening.
This has been Fantasy Baseball 360.